Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'm going to try to make a cement bonsai pot, and I've been watching some videos of some guys doing this with a very steady hand, and well, I must say it is very impressive. I don't think I have that steady hand, but anyway, I'm going to try. So I thought while I was watching these movies, there are two possibilities. Or you make a hollow and inside you put the cement, or you make a form and you put the cement around it and on top. So I think the most easiest part will be to put the sand in this big former cat litter thing, and then yeah, make a hollow and fill it up with cement, and then well, we'll see how it looks. Anyway, I don't want to make a perfect round, well, smooth pot. I want something to look a little bit more rough, which of course will be a whole lot easier. So that's a good thing. But I like to have something in the color of the sand. Yellow sand and the sandstones that are so typical for the region where I live. So I think it's going to be great to put a tree in such a pot and well, match it with other sand rocks. So it could be very cool. So let's start. So first thing first, then I'm going to fill this with yellow sand. I bought a whole bag, so I think that's gonna be enough. Yeah. So now I have to make this a little equal here. It's still quite wet, so I'm going to distribute this evenly, well, almost. Again, I don't want to make a smooth pot. So I think I'm going to need to crush it, because otherwise might get tricky. Okay, so now how big do I want my pot to be? Well, first of all, I like it to be quite round, because I like round pots. And I hope one day to be able to just have round pots, because in a round pot you can always look at your tree from every angle, and I think that's better. Well, of course a tree always has a best side, but a tree should look great from all angles. So okay, let's get something that is round, so I can measure what I want. So this is one of my pots, and I think this is a nice size for a tree. Oh, there's a spider in. Come on, guy. Yeah, so this is a nice size for a pot. So I'm going to, well, I think also the depth is good. So I'm going to get some sand off here and distribute it around the edges, like so. Okay, I'm trying to get this in. Just by turning it, should start to make a acceptable shape. Let's find out. Well, that's not bad. I want it a little bigger. So now where I have a few holes like here, we'll fill this up. Well, that's certainly a good thing with round pots, you can turn them. Yeah, this is very good. So I'm going to work my way around this thing, but I still want it a little bigger. And like I said, I don't really care about the perfect shape and smoothness of the edges, because I want it to be rough. So rough is good. Okay, so just doing this, and then make it a little bigger by pushing it a little more to this side and a little more to that side. Okay, so I'm going to continue this for a few minutes, and I'll be back when this is done. So I already gained at least 2 centimeters in diameter, and I can still do a little more at this side. It's going quite well, and now I need to just smoothen this. Okay, and I can get my pot out and just try to get it flat on the bottom, like so. Maybe I should wet it a little and then work it round with a brush. Yeah, I'm going to get a brush and a spray. Okay, so I'm going to spray the edges just a little. And then maybe brush it. Yeah. Trying to get this not flat, but evenly distributed. This pot has this little rim. I don't want a rim, so I'm going to brush away that rim. Now I think I have to be careful and go easy on the water, because if you get sand too wet, it's like a sandcastle in the sea, and it's going to fall over. So that's basically not bad, but now I want this thing to be not perfectly round and, well, some more accidented texture in it. So, well, it's easier to make it not smooth than well smooth, I think. But since this is my first bonsai pot cement experiment, I'm not going to make it too hard. Okay, I guess it is possible to get some sand out. This brush seems to be a good idea. Okay. So maybe now I'm going to try to get this out too. Okay. Well, trying to get this flat. Yeah, little rock. That's what you don't want here. So, I'm going to mix some cement now. I'm going to use the same yellow sand, and I'm going to take white cement because I don't like the gray color, and I'm going to mix it with some of this product that makes cement a little more flexible, because I hope that these pots can make it through winter. So I'm just going to make one like this, and maybe if this works out nice, I'm going to try to make another one with another technique that seems a whole lot more complicated, but yeah, that's best to start with something quite easy, and I'm finding that this is not so easy as you might think. You need really a steady hand. So I'm going to mix some cement now. I'm going to mix equal parts of sand and cement. A little more here. That's quite good, I think. Probably the color of the sand will dominate in the end, and because I'm going to put that on a sandy mold, yeah, and it stays quite white. Well, I don't know. Well, I have to add the liquid now. So mix this. It's always better to go slow on the liquid because you always can add more, but if your cement is too wet, it's gonna be useless stuff. It's changing color when it's wet, and that's already interesting. I like the color. Okay. Well, I'll be back when this is done and when I can put it in the mold. Well, here it comes, the no turning back points. I think the cement is really of good consistency, and if I make a pot of 1 centimeter thickness, it should be a fairly strong pot. Of course, I'm not sure if I have enough or too much or not enough. Just eyeballing this, of course. If I can get the edges right, it's going to be okay. It's always possible to fill up the bottom later. Okay, it looks like this is the better way to go, so pressing it, because of course it's making contact with the sand, and that's loose. So don't want sand in the too much sand in the construction, because it's going to make weak points. So every time I have sand, I need to I need to mix this a little. So I'm going to try to finish this. Maybe another way is to put it just here and then work it up. That looks another possibility. Yeah. Well, I think I'll have to try different techniques to get this right. Okay, so I'm also going to use my brush. Okay, I'll try to work this out and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Well, this looks acceptable. So I had to make a little more cement, but now I'm going to get this a little smoother with my wet brush. So it's not going to be completely smooth inside, but just a little. This way I think I can fill up some cracks and things. Well, this seems to be working fine. Now I don't want smooth edges on this pot, but they need to be a little more well, consistent, because they're too weak now and they're crumbly. So just going to push these things a little more together. And if you work with cement, well, you need to have your fingers wet, because otherwise it's going to stick. This doesn't look too bad. So just, you see, if your finger isn't wet and you're moving, I'm going to make these things a little more, well, how should I say, filled. Looks like it's easier with the wet brush, so let's do that. Well, the thing is, this cement and sand, it's really not expensive, so if it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. And I must say, I think it's kind of fun. And if it works, I have a nice little pot. Okay. So this looks okay, I think. So I'm going to try to finish this off now with the sand that is laying on the top of these edges. And I'm going to try to press the sand into these edges, and that will round them. So you see, I'm digging here and then pushing. I'm not sure if this is a good idea, but most of the things you do for the first time, you are not sure if it's a good idea. And once that this is done, I'm going to fill the whole thing with yellow sand just for the color. One thing that is obvious now is that you do not have a good view on how thick your layer of cement is. So that's probably one of the reasons why they don't do it like this very often. Just wetting this thing down. No, this is not good. That's cement that will not stick to the pot anymore. Just wetting this down so that the cement doesn't dry too fast. And now I'm going to fill this up with sand. And that's gonna be it. I'm going to press this gently against the walls. And the edges. Well, kind of stressy work, because so I don't know how much time it needs to get hard, but I know that when it takes a long time it's better. Cement that takes time to dry out is stronger. So might have a look tomorrow. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. I'll see how it turns out. So this thing has been drying for almost 24 hours now, and luckily while I was editing the first part, I realized that I didn't make holes for drainage, and so I took my drill, and because the cement was still quite wet, it was really easy to drill some holes. Here they are. So I made 2 holes with my drill. I think this looks quite hard now, so I'm going to take it out. It's probably not completely dry, because I heard you have to let this cure for a few days, and I even heard that it is good to cure it in water, so I think I'm just going to do that. Now I have to try to lift this, but I'm first going to remove some of the sand, because I don't want it to break. I'm not sure that this is very strong. So all the sand is probably just causing a whole lot of resistance. So, well, this looks like it's coming out in one piece for the moment. It's heavy, quite heavy. Okay, so let's brush this. So I see all kinds of debris of the cement. It means that if I want to reuse this sand, I will have to sift it first. See these 2 drainage holes, that's good. Now, of course, if I put this in water directly, all the sand will be gone, but then all the sand will be gone, and don't want to lose this. Thought it was fun, so definitely going to try this again. I think the edges look quite okay. I have a thickness of at least 1 centimeter everywhere, I think. Looks a little rough on the edges. So, I think I have most of the sand off. I'm going to clean this in the water now. Looks kinda white. Okay, I'm going to clean this up and then we'll be back. Okay, so here we are. That's the pot. Well, I like the color in the inside. Strangely, the same color I do not have completely on the outside. It's a little more white. But I think that's probably because I used a brush in the inside, and it mixed the sand and the cement a whole lot better. So maybe I could make a mixture and put it around this. So I might do that. So yeah, I'm going to mix a little more cement and sand and put it on the outside. It will fill some of these little gaps, which I actually like, but I'd like to have some more color. So yeah, made some cement, and I have a little crack here. Maybe I can put some stuff in that. Also heard that some people are using varnish to seal the pot from the inside, so that it does not, how should I say, that the water cannot get too much into the cracks, and then, well, of course, this is a pot that's just there for its style, and well, I think yeah, I like it a lot. So I think it's a beautiful pot. But of course, you don't have to overwinter your trees in these pots. You can put it in another plastic pot so that it doesn't freeze. So going to apply a little layer of this sand and cement in all these cracks, and I hope that I can do something about the color here. Also think I can probably make it a little stronger by filling up the cracks. So I'm going to paint this pot with this quite runny cement, and when this is done I'll have to let it dry. I'll probably put some more sand just straight on this cement layer now. Just to make the color a little more sandy. So I'll be back when the thing is filled with cement. So the nice color that I had on the inside, I want it on the outside. So I'm going to put the pot back in the sand. and trying to make sure that it is well in the sand, so that every part is touching the sand from the edges. And I'm going to get this fairly wet, put some sand on it, try to work it in a little. Because this yellow sand really has some, well, color in it. It's very dusty. Well, maybe I just have to rub it in. It's gonna be faster and stronger, I think. And if it does not have the color that I want, I can always paint it. But I'm always a little bit afraid that the paint goes off with the years, so I think if you can do it this way, it's going to be a whole lot more natural, I think. Okay, so that's it. Just cover it, and I'll see in a couple of hours, or maybe tomorrow. I mean, I'm not in a hurry. So, day 3. Let's have a look. Just getting it out. Well, of course it had an extra night of wet drying, so I hope that the sides are nice now. Well, the bottom part of course doesn't matter because you won't see it, so I hope the sides are nice. They are a whole lot smoother, that's for sure. I think I'll have to wash it to see it clearly now, so let's do that. So here it is, that's the pot. I think it's quite okay. I fear I have a little crack here, so I don't know. Maybe it will be a good idea when this pot is completely dry to put a layer of varnish here, so that there is not too much water impregnation, because that might cause all kinds of trouble. So anyways, now I'm going to let this thing dry and I'll see. Then I kind of like it. I think the texture is nice. It looks a little bit like a sandstone. So that was the whole idea. I like the color. I'll probably do this again, but maybe then I'll mix some color in the cement. So this concludes the making of my very first cement bonsai pot, cement concrete something. I think it looks quite cool. So I enjoyed making it. Maybe you can try that and enjoy it as much as I did. In the meantime, thank you for watching and see you next time.